Sound production.
Good evening, gentlemen. It is your boy, Sirius. Welcome to my live stream. And the topic today is Distorting the Message. I've noticed that it's getting a lot worse. We are getting bombarded by a shit ton of people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Coming up into our space and literally trying to change the very fucking definition or the very values that we try to teach other men in order for them to navigate through this gynocentric society. And me and the Great Ghost, we're going to break it down Barney style. But let me check the comments right quick. I see a lot of you guys are already in here. Damn, already 40 people. What's going on, y'all? I see Channel. I see Mile High. What's going on? Dr. Magnum, what's good? Hermit. I'm going to drop the link soon when I start this live stream. I know you were asking about the link to my other channel. Tony, what is going on, man? Hopefully you're doing well. I know I'm doing well. Mike, what's good? I know I'm missing a lot more people. I know IY fan, he's right there. Sacred Y, what's going on? I know Nixon was the first person. What's going on, Nixon? What is good? All right, we are going to continue. Oh, Primal Studies, what's up? I see you like almost every live stream now. It's crazy. But let's begin. The one, the only. Grey Ghost, what's going on?
Good evening. Good evening.
How's your day so far today?
Pretty good. Car repairs are a lot cheaper than expected, so that's always nice.
I'm like downing a shit ton of water right now. Remember, gentlemen, stay hydrated. All right. H2O is important. God damn it. Okay. So, for the topic at hand, the only reason I bring it up today is because when it comes to Nixon, me and Nixon, we just had a talk like, 30 minutes ago. We got a shit ton of people coming to our space now, literally trying to change the very fucking definitions that we've been trying to teach other people. Not Nixon. Nixon is not part of it, any of this. But when it comes to the space in general, there's a huge shift of people just coming in with their own definitions, their own perspectives, completely being condescending, gaslighting, just going nuts on the men of the manosphere, trying to make them sound crazy, trying to make the men that's in this sphere sound like they're in the wrong. And I'm going to give you the right advice, which is horrible advice, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
So they're just coming up in here, balls to the wall, saying, you men are wrong. You men don't know what you're talking about. See, you were supposed to do this. Oh, if you believe this, man, you a sad piece of shit. Like, what? Well, what do you think about that, Gray?
I think that's inevitable. Like, the message got too big for them to ignore, so now they have to try to distort it and corrupt it and take a hold of it. It's the same as anything that gets popular. The fucking normies and shit, like, they want in, and then once they get in, they want to change the rules to suit them. It's like, it happens all the time in gaming. Like, you're at a fucking tabletop group, some new fan comes in, and then immediately starts demanding changes be made so that it can be more inclusive or less hateful or whatever fucking buzzword. And then when you say no, then they say, well, then you're clearly not part of the group, so get the fuck out. This is nothing new.
True, I'll give you that one. And it's just pretty insane how they are going balls to the wall right now. Like, they're not even hiding it or try to be discreet about it, right? They're being pretty fucking aggressive right now because they know that we're right. Oh, they definitely know. But what's it called? You know how it is. Women in general want the standard to be lowered in order to quote unquote even the playing field, right?
Yeah, well, even the playing field is always, we want to be superior, now give it to us.
Right. And they can't really dispute with our facts, right? Because our facts are literally backed up on historical data, actual data, whether it's from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, whether it's the Labor Bureau or any type of fucking data that we can bring when it comes to male issues. They can rarely have an argument against it, so they resort to
When logic doesn't work, all you do is lie and like fuck with people's emotions. That's all they can do.
So when it comes to distorting the message, I have seen a few channels, whether it's red pill, black pill, or even blue pill, whatever it is. The whole definition is starting to change now, especially with these female content creators trying to come into the space. They have their own complete set of definitions. And I say that's a bad thing because you know how easy it is for a woman to get an audience compared to a man talking about these topics.
Yeah, but let's be honest, the kind of guys that would go to a woman to hear discussions on men's issues, they're not exactly the kind of men that we necessarily want to begin with.
That is true. But unfortunately, right? A lot of men out there start off as blue pill. So years ago, we didn't have to worry about this, right? Because I only seen like what, 1 or 2 women total in our space back in 2014, 15. Now they're fucking everywhere on top of the PUAs.
It's the same as gamers. There were no fucking female gamers. Then women found out that they could get male attention by playing video games, and then the fucking female gamer market exploded.
Agreed, right? And it's not even about the game anymore. It's about,
Like
give me
men
money.
men have found a new hobby, philosophy, media entertainment thing. And women are like, holy shit, I want my attention, time, and money, so I better co-op this.
True, but then eventually turn into a stripper show.
Well, it's always going to be like that.
Hey, I get yelled at when I say that. So
But that's the thing, because like eventually these women are like, that's the thing, because it's the cycle. Like, men go off to do their own thing, women go to join the men because the women follow the men, and then the simps follow the women, and since the simps outnumber the original groups of men, then the money becomes focused towards simping behavior. That's how fucking Justin TV, which was originally what Twitch was, turned from a gamer channel into a softcore porn stream hub.
I always say almost anything that they touch, when it evolves a male-dominated space, will eventually turn to sexual objectification.
But that's the thing, because that's what men primarily want to consume as a general bit. But like, again, it's the cycle. Men establish their own niche, women follow those men into the niche, and then the men follow the women.
Hold up. Let's address this right quick since we're talking about gamers. Carry on. He says there were some, I'm assuming he was saying some, there were some female gamers, but they were mostly bullied by other girls. That's why they stopped. But now it's just a bunch of fake people.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna fucking say, oh, but think about the 0.1% of the population that's actually legit. No. If you aren't at least 30% of the fucking population, I don't give a shit about you so far as general broad statements are.
Hey,
if we have to fucking clarify, if we have to fucking quantify everything with, but what about the 1% of them, then we'll be here all fucking day.
Well, we already know how it goes. The exception never makes the rule. So,
yeah.
It's cool. Like, I'm sure there's a few gamer girls that actually game, and I'm all for it. Fuck yeah, that's why you're here, to actually enjoy the hobby. Cool, but we're talking about literally 99% of the, scene, the gaming scene, where it's just,
Yeah, no, but that's the thing, Geet. It's like inevitably someone says, well, what about the 1%? And then we spend more time talking about quantifying the fucking exception to the rule rather than just saying, yeah, whatever, they exist, moving on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
yeah, but we're spending too much time talking about that rather than the topic at hand.
Well, I didn't really finish my sentences. That was the last time I was even going to mention it. So when it comes to that situation, we all know that the exception doesn't make the rule. Okay, we only see women say, "Hey, you already know how it goes." I explained this before, chat. They will literally have nothing but tiny itty bitty screens of whatever game that they're playing, and majority of them are just, "Oops, I dropped something," and they literally have nothing but a G-string on when they bend over, or it's crazy. It's crazy. So that's what I'm saying, gentlemen. When they come to a male-dominated space, you really think that their interest is to help other men or enjoy other men's hobbies? No, not at all whatsoever. So that's why I'm always suspect, right, because I saw a couple of people call me paranoid. Why you so paranoid, bro? Just a few girls. There's always a selfish reason. You always got to assume that, gentlemen. Why will she go to a male-dominated area? There's no reason for her to do that. Like why? Well, but they can vent about male issues as well. Like they could talk about their side. Okay, cool, but they have countless media.
If they want to bitch about men, just go to r/2x chromosomes or whatever. There are plenty of fucking female exclusive spots for them to bitch about their fucking gender issues. They don't need to come here. They come here because they want what men have to offer, which is basically everything.
So that's why I get mad and annoyed, gentlemen. Okay? Anything that you see outside of our little itty bitty space that we have that we call the manosphere, women can just talk mad shit whatsoever. They tell men to go die. They can do that. No repercussions, no nothing. They'll get a Yas queen. Why are they coming to our itty bitty space? Just think on that, gentlemen. Okay? Like, I don't get the fucking weirdos trying to say, oh, they can come in and talk about blah, blah, blah. They're not here to help other men. 99%, 99.99% of them that comes to our space, they're not here for us. They're only here for the attention and the shilling. You got to understand, gentlemen. You have to understand that, because I'm sick of people say, oh, she's okay. She's this. She's that. Bullshit. Because like I said before, until I see them actually attacking the core issues, they're a waste of time. Because they created like I said in the stream yesterday, they created this situation. They created these rules. Wait, what did Pete say? But yeah, that guy Pete, he says we can vent about male complaints. It's just that nobody gives a fuck. Well, yeah, nobody gives a damn. But if you have a loud enough voice, they will shut that shit down.
Yeah, if you complain too much, if you speak too much of the truth of male issues, your channel gets suppressed or outright deleted.
On some Negan shit, okay? The Walking Dead. No exceptions.
Like, believe me, if no one gave a shit about men venting about stuff, we'd actually be further ahead and have a lot more voice.
Oh, man. We'll have so much output when it comes to... We'll have male talk shows where we actually talk about men on TV. We will have countless social media accounts of men that's like in the 100K subs.
Like, legit, nobody giving a shit would actually be a step forward for us. People absolutely do give a shit. They give enough of a shit that they don't want us to do this.
Okay. Yep. That's correct. That guy Pete. They want you to shut the fuck up, and just go right back into the wage slave plantation. They want you to just shut the fuck up and work until you die, or go to war and die, because that's what they say all the time.
That's the thing. We're okay with them not giving a fuck. Like, we have accepted that, by and large, no one gives a shit about our issues. The most valuable stuff that comes out of here is shit that other men are having problems with and want to understand. Like, we don't come here and vent about all of our personal issues that other people can't specifically help with just to vent for it. No. We're here to discuss the more widespread male issues so that men go, oh, holy shit, I'm not crazy. It's not just me. There's actual information to back this up. There's actual collaborative data and corroborative evidence that makes it seem that, yeah, this is normal. And then it's advice that other men find useful. If we were not providing value for other men, plain and simple, this entire field would die. Like this entire sphere would die if it was not providing useful information to men.
Yeah, because men, we're not really the people that can just ramble on about fucking nothing for hours. Okay, like we listen for the important shit. And if there's no value, no one's going to be around. But I do agree with that goblin guy say. He says men gathering anywhere in groups to talk is considered very dangerous. Agreed. Agreed. They shut that shit down within the last, like what he said, 100 years. I rarely hear about male-only clubs anymore. I think the male-only clubs are deep underground or golf clubs, because I don't really see women playing golf.
Well, that's the thing. Like, as soon as men start to get some kind of hobby where they gather together, the first thing that happens is it is immediately mocked for being childish, or they say, "Oh, only social outcasts do that."
Or
then
women being it.
Well, no, that's the next step. The next, like after the shaming does not destroy the collaborative group, then women start infiltrating in order to destroy it from the inside.
Agreed. Like there were women that literally disguise themselves as men in order to infiltrate male only clubs, gentlemen clubs. You know, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Especially it happened within the last 20 years in the UK somewhere. I forgot where, but yeah, women will literally pretend to be men just to infiltrate. That's how insane it is, right? Like they have all they have all the space in the world right now, gentlemen. They literally have the fucking universe when it comes to them doing whatever they want, do whatever they please, whatever, you know, die men die, you know, kill all men. But as soon as this itty bitty group, you know, called Red Pill or MGTOW or Black Pill, whatever it is, they just fucking come in droves. It's like fucking kamikaze up in this bitch. Like, like what the fuck? Like the whole world is yours. The world is yours. Why are you bothering us?
Well, you know damn why, Yeet. Look at how they choose their spouse. They have millions of men, literally millions of men, that would gladly give them everything they claim to want. Whereas they're chasing after the one guy that doesn't want them and treats them like shit. Like if you give a girl 1,000,000 compliments and one insult, she will remember the insult.
I agree.
So the instant you have a space that says no girls allowed, they want in. Doesn't matter everything that they have. Like the only way for women to avoid someplace with no girls allowed is if girls aren't allowed anywhere and they're trying to get into too many different places at once.
True. I'll give you that one. Yeah. Because I'll say it again, gentlemen. Wherever men go, I mean actual men, like masculine men go, women will follow. Right? So I definitely agree with what Gray's saying right now. I'm gonna address what Hermit said. He says that's why you won't get a guys only gym. At my gym, women have their own room, but if it's the other way around, they will freak out. I completely agree. I agree. They need that attention so bad because in 2022, the gym's a nightclub, right? They fucking get their hair done, their nails done, the 5 pounds of makeup on their face, get the tightest yoga pants they could possibly find, just so that they can get guys to look at them, literally. And then that'll give them the quote unquote right to get mad if a man looks at them and then they can complain on their social media, so they can get that. Oh, Yas Queen, yeah, fuck man, kill our men. It's weird, bro. It's weird.
It's all about the social power. Because they wear the makeup for other women too, because they know that if no woman wore makeup, then the woman who wore makeup would be treated poorly. If every woman wears makeup, then the woman that doesn't wear makeup is treated poorly.
Yes.
Like, it's all about conformity. It's the same with, like, the hokey poke stuff. So many of the people are mad because, like, not because, like, other people didn't get it, but because they got it and other people didn't get it. Like, if you don't conform to someone else's idea of how things should be, like, we are far beyond the everybody can be their unique self, let's just live and let live. No, we are in the age of conform to me or you are an existential threat to me.
True. But you must be crushed.
Like, you must align your worldview exactly to how I think it should be, otherwise you are an enemy that needs to be destroyed. That is the modern age.
I agree. And before I address you, IY fan, let me address this. Line to MGTOW, he says, now they're mad. Men are creating gyms in their homes. that is definitely true.
Yeah, like, I don't need no fucking gym membership. I got a shit ton of equipment, and I got videos on fucking body weight exercise. And I got a fucking weighted vest on top of that, so... And that's not counting the fucking lifting and exercise shit I already get at work. So, like, I'm good. Like, my limiter right now is primarily I need to put more calories away, but...
I bought too many eggs. I need to fucking get rid of those. I'm probably going to eat a shit ton of eggs this week. But IY fan, he says, every man... no, that's not the right one. I'm like, why the fuck does it say sperm? It says it's not about having their own space, it's about taking yours. Also, do you remember what happened when that Les couple sued for child support and won from a sperm donor?
Yep, and that's the reason why there's a fucking sperm shortage. Because guys are like, nah, fuck this. No. Men are like, nah, fuck this shit. I ain't putting my sperm up for fucking auction if it means that I can be sued for child support later.
I shouldn't be surprised, but this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, funny statistic that I was reminded of today. Did you know that 100% of space crime has been committed by lesbian women?
Of what crime?
Space crime, as in crime off planet.
How?
International Space Station.
That actually happened?
I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah, apparently the only recorded crime that has been committed off planet was done by a lesbian woman. They're truly breaking the glass ceiling there.
Is it like assault? Like,
I don't know. It might have been theft.
Look it up. I've never heard of space crime. Yeah, this is a first. But I'm kind of heated, IY fan. Thank you for pointing this out. This is so fucked up. That's so fucked up. No fucking way. No way. They actually won child support. See? You see, gentlemen? You know, that's why they act shocked when, you know, men are like, I don't want to do this shit anymore because this shit right here. You can't even donate in peace. You can't donate your zinc. All of a sudden they want to come back with child support? Get the fuck out of here. God damn. Hold on, give me 1 second. Should I address this?
Yeah, no, here it was. Apparently, while she was in space, she was in the middle of a custody battle and committed identity theft. theft, and improper access to finances.
So it's identity theft?
Yeah, basically identity theft, and she took money from an account that she wasn't supposed to due to a custody battle.
Damn, and it happened in space too? That's crazy, bro.
Well, she was in space at the time, yeah.
What the fuck?
So 100% of crimes committed in space have been done by a lesbian woman.
Okay, that's fucking hilarious. Launch that bitch into the sun. That's funny. But let me address JD right quick. He says men need to submit to God once again. They will find the strength to force women back to submission. That's the natural order of things. Good luck with that.
Okay, keep in mind, the whole submitting to God is not the problem. It is you need to deal with the army of men with guns. I don't care how much you fucking pray to God and follow the Bible. That's not going to make the government disappear.
The new God is the government.
Well,
that's what these women worship now.
Okay, that yes, but look, God is God. It's the fucking absolute authority. You're going to end up complying to it because it's fucking reality. I don't care what fucking religion you follow, at the end of the day, whatever you ascribe to God is basically fucking reality. Like, the reason that you don't commit fucking adultery is like, is it because, oh, God will wag his finger at you or throw lightning? It's like, no, because it destroys your fucking life. And it is only the intervention of the government trying to supersede God that staves off that stuff. So, like, men do have to submit to God because it's fucking reality. But it doesn't matter how much you read the Bible. It doesn't matter how much you pray. It's not about finding the strength to make women submit. No. Any man can make a woman submit by force. It's just that there's other men with guns that make that man submit.
Weapons are the great equalizer.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, one side has a lot better weapons and more body armor.
Yep.
And drone strikes.
Lowell says, I wanted to talk to you about the defund the police and Castle Doctrine conversation, but couldn't get in contact with you. Honestly, I plan on talking about that this week. That will be a topic on my second channel. This is definitely a topic that I would love to speak on. Defund the police. I know I'm getting a lot of, people with various views on this. I know it's going to be a great topic. So, and if Greg can join, he'll join. I'm sure he wouldn't mind talking about this.
Yeah, it just have to be timed because, like, middle of the week's my card night. So,
nah, I'm talking about this on the weekend.
All right. Yep. Yeah, I can free some space on the weekend.
Hold up. God created man, Samuel Colt made them equal. I have no idea what that means.
It means that the Colt 45 is the equalizer of men.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you would have said Colt 45, then I would have.
Yeah, but Samuel Colt made the Colt. That's the joke. Like,
yeah,
the guy who made.
I'm just saying I would have immediately got it. Yeah, and they have way more sophisticated, more powerful, various weapons than the average man. So.
Like, I'm sorry, you give one dude a revolver, you give the other an AK-47. Who do you think's gonna win?
Oh, that's rhetorical.
No, that's a fucking obvious question.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, what about the guy with the AK-47? Oh yeah, okay, you give one guy an AK-47, you give the other an Obama brand drone. Now who's gonna win? Yeah.
Oh, it's a drone, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm reading this right quick. No. Nah, you can't say it depends.
Like, I'm sorry, one has 6 shots and then takes a while to reload and requires close range. The other one can
Up to 40 rounds.
can distribute lead from a much greater range at a much higher frequency and reload at a much faster pace.
Yeah, 7.62 millimeter rounds, and it can hold, banana clip. It's not going to end well for the guy with the revolver unless that guy is blind and deaf and no legs, no arms. Like that's the only way that you'll win.
Yeah. So, look, superior technology. Like, I think one of the key things is that for a lot of Olympic world records, like bicycle world records, there's a major leap in world records every time they improve the bicycle. Like, there is a peak to human performance. The peak to technological performance far outpaces that.
Agreed. Sometimes it's about the quantity. You can have, a powerful freaking gun all you want, but if you run out bullets way quicker than the other guy, you're kind of fucked. And the government has a shit ton of bullets. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, but you're not. But you with your fucking little hand loading station is not going to outpace the people who have an automatic ammo making factory like the Lord of War intro.
Yeah. And imagine seeing an A-10 Warhawk flying at you. Naturally you won't be able to see it coming. Because if you can hear the A-10 shooting, you weren't the target. The A-10 has literally one of the biggest bullets in the world. It's as big as your forearm, and it can shoot things around 1,000 rounds per minute.
And although actually, if we're talking biggest bullets, I'd say that the biggest bullets that we could theoretically use are just the rods from God.
Yeah, I'd rather not have to deal with that. That would be a very, very bad situation. Oh hell no, fuck that. Oh no. And if you guys don't know what that is, actually, do you want to explain it real quick? I'm gonna drink.
Yeah. So basically, the rods from God are essentially you put a tungsten steel rod on top of a satellite, and then you drop it from space, and gravity essentially has it hit the planet more or less with the force of an incredibly large explosive. And you can't intercept them because they're going too fast. They're not guided. You're literally just dropping a tungsten steel rod from space, and the kinetic force alone is more devastating than most modern missiles.
It will wipe out a huge amount of ground. Let's just say that. I can't really explain it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know where it stacks up to nukes, but it's considered roughly in the same category.
Stop texting me. Anyway, if you want to support your boy Sirius, there's a link on top of the chat. Cash App Sirius. Any donations appreciated. Thank you very much. When it comes to distorting the message, right? It's not just within the manosphere, right? Because we know that also extends on a societal level. It's this is why I say the media is a very, very powerful weapon. A very, very powerful weapon. And I will continue to say that it's more powerful than nukes. Like it is, especially with smartphones and all this access to the internet and stuff. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. So the fact that somebody can just come up in here and just proclaim that, oh, they're wrong, I'm right, and that one person has a lot more influence, that's pretty bad. Because once again, the media can make a good person look bad and a bad person look good. For example, Roma Army, right? She's literally at 1 million subs.
Well, that's kind of the thing, though. Like, this is something that I notice, and I'm gonna probably keep railing against harder and harder. But how much does approval of random strangers translate into power?
How much approval?
Like, that's the thing. Like, what do you think is going to get you more ahead in day-to-day life? Having 1,000,000 subs or having a firearm with 6 bullets?
In what?
Just day-to-day life. Day-to-day, you need something. Do you think that you're going to acquire it easier by saying, I have 1,000,000 subs, or I have a firearm with 6 bullets?
Let's just say firearm with 6 bullets.
Yeah.
But I was just speaking on influence. Influence is still a very powerful tool, even more powerful than a gun at times. Because instead of you actually doing the job, you got thousands of people doing the job for you.
But that's the thing. Like, to a certain extent. But the thing is, like, physical force wins out. People value too much strangers. Like, okay, let me put it this way. What would you rather have? 1,000,000 subs? Or 5 men that you could call up at a moment's notice and they'd come do some shady shit with you because they're that fucking loyal to you?
Oh, definitely the loyal men. I'll choose that.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the power of 1,000,000 subs. 5 trustworthy guys is more valuable than 1,000,000 strangers.
But when it comes to just strictly influence, just to have people say, "Oh, you're bad or you're good," that's what I meant about the media being powerful. But I do see what you're saying about the 5 loyal friends.
Like, but that's the thing. Like, it basically comes down to the court of public opinion, but that in itself still requires the government, which is the men with guns, as the intermediary. If you took away the legal system, then what does the power of 1,000,000 followers have?
Well, he pretty much answered it, but it will be useless.
Absolutely useless.
What do you mean by that? Hold up. If you have 1,000,000 subs, you could put a call out, and if even half a percentage shows up, you have more people. I doubt half will show. I will say 1,000 tops. that's if you're lucky. Because I'm gonna be that guy. Majority of the people do live on the computer. They're not going to make the effort to show up. If you
Like, do you think that if PewDiePie put out like the name of a particular restaurant in a specific Western country and said, I will like any one of my subs who goes to this restaurant, I will pay for, do you really think that you're going to get like the restaurant having fucking line up around the block? Do you think you're going to get 1,000 people going to the restaurant on that one day?
Oh, is PewDiePie a good example for that? Because he does have over 100 million.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm saying it because he's got 100 million.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Yeah. I believe he would, because of that amount of people that he has.
That's
I'll say
but now, best thing. But if PewDiePie then said, "Okay, now I want you guys to break the law for me."
Nah. What, like 100? 500 tops, but I'll say like around 100. Because people are diehard fans. They'll do stupid shit for them. 1% will probably do it. I wouldn't even say 1%.
No, 1%'s too generous because that would mean literally 1 million people.
Yeah, that would be fucking insane if he was able to pull that. That would be like, whoa, what the fuck? He just assembled his own army.
Like, the man literally has a large city. Well, the shit, more than a large city. If he's got 100 million followers, if he has 100 million followers, he's literally got 3 Canadas in followers.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, well, 1%, 1 million people. No. I still believe a good amount of them are still children. So that'll be too funny. But on how you say, on the grand scale, when it comes to at least society in general, the male spaces are definitely very important because it affects society as a whole, right? We have no say anymore, right?
Well, here's the thing. As we've proven, male spaces are always going to exist in some form or another. Like, no matter how hard they try to suppress it, there's going to be men getting together and talking in the absence of women.
But as long as we don't make enough noise, they don't care.
Oh, no, they give a shit. They absolutely care and give a shit. And it's not about making enough noise because we've proven that we can go off and do our own fucking thing. And they're going to hunt us down. They're going to chase us down.
Well, I'm going to use the example that nobody took Red Pill or MGTOW seriously in the early 2010s. They just said like, "Oh, just a bunch of lonely men living in the mama's basement."
Yeah, that's because that's the shaming thing. That again, we went back to it. Like, they start off with the shaming, but that's the thing, because they don't want men to do it. So they think that if they just shame the men, then it'll be no more than a phase or a trend. Because again, these are women. Remember, like, you're having women do this kind of stuff, and you got to remember they see the world from their perspective. Yeah, to them, basically, all this shit is a fucking phase and a trend because they don't give a shit about objective truth. Well, like, they don't care about.
We're worldwide. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to say.
But that's the thing. But okay, the terminology is worldwide, but it's not as though men weren't speaking to each other prior to this. They just now have a shared lexicon and memes to draw from.
Well, I'm just saying, since I've been in the space for the longest time, I've noticed the difference where they're like, okay, you guys are fucking trash, ha ha ha, you lonely fucks. Now, shit, made it to the Canadian Parliament, and I wouldn't say that our philosophy made a huge difference, but there's a lot of variables, such as depleting birth rates, more men are not getting married anymore, economy shit, etc. Now everybody from all corners are trying to get at us, right? Like, we're extremists now. That we never had to worry about that 10 years ago. Now we are on the same level as Al Qaeda, according to that.
Okay, yeah, but keep in mind, like, that's nothing new. Like, D&D has been around since the 60s, but it didn't enter the major popular lexicon or reach levels of government and widespread media stuff until, like, the satanic panic of the 80s and 90s. Like, and it was the exact same thing. Like, these were the people who you fucking decried and dismissed, and you called them nasty names, and then it just fucking stuck around and kept gaining more and more people to the point where it's like, wow, this is interfering with our goals now, and shaming them isn't going to work because they're no longer isolated. They have found a community that, and they don't need us anymore. So now we need to start actually going on the offensive, attacking it, infiltrating it, undermining it.
Okay. IY fan. He says the thing is it's fixing to reach, or it's about to reach critical mass soon. Too many people are getting interested and it resonates to so many. They now can see they aren't alone or crazy. I agree. Because man, we had the foresight of seeing that something just ain't right for the longest time. And now, like what IY fan said, it's about to hit critical mass. Maybe tomorrow or maybe in 5 years, we know something is about to go down.
Okay, there's a difference though. Like, okay, like critical mass is basically the point at which there's no going back. I would not be surprised if we've hit that already. Like, it's too widespread, too out there to get rid of it at this point. But that doesn't mean that all these people who are aware of this knowledge are going to do what is necessary in order to fix the problem.
No, because majority of us are like, you know what? This is beyond our power. Like, what the fuck can we do? It is what it is. Whatever happens, happens.
But this is where it goes back to, like, men have always talked, but you can judge the health of a society by where the men talk.
Right.
If the men are basically driven to the underground and they're not allowed to speak in public spaces, that's a society on the brink of ruin.
Agreed.
Like, keep in mind, back in the like, we're going way back. Like, let's go back to philosophy for a second. The foundations of it.
So what, Greece?
Yeah, like ancient Greece, Plato, Aristotle. They went out in public spaces and had open forum discussions. Can you imagine just going to downtown, some sort of central square, and having these kinds of talks?
It's beyond rare. It's
not happening. The cops would break you up and fucking beat your asses.
I'm saying I do see it, but it's non-existent.
It doesn't happen. Like, when was the last time you saw 50 guys gathered together, talking amongst themselves and listening to one or two central figures talk it out downtown? I have never seen that in my life.
Central figures, no, but I do see people talking about the important shit, right? I'm only saying one or two people, and the one person is what's his name, Steven Crowder.
That's the thing. Like, that's one person talking about the kind of stuff I'm about. No, I'm talking like a crowd of men. Like, it's a male discussion space, not one dude. Because, yeah, I've seen individual dudes ranting on street corners about nonsensical bullshit. That's a dime a dozen. But where the heck are you going to get 20 to 50 guys talking about the same thing amongst themselves and having a back and forth debate?
I agree. I'm just saying Steven Crowder's the closest.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Him being the closest is a sign of a dying society, because that's how far men have been pushed underground. You have to be basically a celebrity with a camera turned on you and probably some measure of security just to go out and talk about this kind of stuff briefly with random people. Like, has Steven Crowder ever brought a crowd of guys to have the discussion with?
No, not church elders.
No, he's going out and he's just talking with random people about stuff.
He said he sets up the controversial discussion, and there's a group of usually college students, and then they'll let the college students debate him on controversial. Just pretty much changed my mind series. Like I'm sure you know about it.
I'm roughly
You don't know about
familiar
it?
with it. Roughly, I don't exactly watch Steven
Oh,
Crowder.
well, he talks about very controversial, you know,
Yeah, I'm
discussion.
aware. I'm aware of who he is and the basic stuff he said, but I don't actually watch his content.
Yeah, but like I said, like the only simple questions, right? There's only two genders. Change my mind type situation. So, and he gets a group of people. That usually has a couple cops with him, right? You know, security reasons, and they let these college students, right, man or woman, not all men, but men and women, and then they hash it out, right? Even though it gets very verbal and a couple of times physical. Uh, but no, I have not seen a whole group of men uh, talking about the most controversial shit. So no,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like in a healthy society, Steven Crowder would be considered a small fry. That's what I'm getting at here. That Steven Crowder is the fucking bleeding edge of public discussion for men is a sign that society is absolutely fucked.
and can you explain to the chat like why is that a sign of a failing society?
Because men need to be able to discuss shit for shit to move forward. Like if you were to look at, I believe, like some of the greatest scientists of like the 19th, 20th century, like Newton, Hooke, Halley, like
Plato,
those guys. What?
Plato, I think his name was.
No, I'm talking no, not those guys. More recent,
Oh, never
like
mind.
Isaac Newton, like advances in science, physics. They met and they talked in coffee shops.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the thing, you had group of the leading scientists of the day meeting up and discussing shit in coffee shops. And what happened as a result of that? Major advances in science. Where the fuck can scientists have that kind of discussion in a casual day-to-day setting these days? They
You
can't.
can't.
Period. So, which society do you think is healthier? The one that can get a whole bunch of scientists together to talk about shit back and forth, or the one that can't?
It's easy. Our society's fucked.
Precisely. That's the thing. I'm pointing out here that where men can have discussions and how publicly they can have it is indicative of the sign of the health of the society. Put simply, the more you oppress men in your society, the less healthy your society is and the closer it is to death.
I'm gonna address this right quick. Would Kanye got in as much trouble if he would have called out feminism instead? No. No. He called out certain people, and those certain people has a lot of power. And right now, unfortunately, he is suffering the consequences of speaking out.
And
Right?
but here's the other thing. Unfortunately, if you look at it, feminism is just rebranded communism. And when you look at which demographic has overwhelmingly purported, spread, and dedicated itself to communism, it lines up pretty closely with the people that Kanye West is in shit with.
No, agreed. If you want to look at the people who are in power, look at the group that you're not allowed to criticize.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, these people, they carry a very big stick. You know, and the person that has a bigger stick is right. You know, that's unfortunate, you know, law of life. You know, whoever has more power is right. For now.
Well, no, it's like whoever has the more power is right, but they also have to be willing to use it. It's a lot easier for an individual with money to choose to use their power because all they have to do is put aside from wealth. When their opponents have to individually decide to put their lives on the line to counter a handful of individuals with a ton of wealth, yeah, the motivation's not exactly there.
Oh no, I'm not putting that up there. Oh no, we have defeated the wrong enemy. Shh, quiet. But I'm just saying that he definitely would not have gotten in trouble if he talked about feminism instead. That would not have been as bad of a situation for Kanye.
Correct. But that's the thing. Like Kanye, like he actually sees the root cause of the issue.
And
Like
that's what
you can
made him
call, like you could, like that's the thing. You could call out feminism, and you could get people to go, "Oh yeah, feminism ain't good." Does that address the actual problem? No.
Agreed. You know, I love how we're able to touch on all these other topics, but we can't touch on that certain topic.
No, we can't. And like here's the thing. Like this was actually something I saw a while back during the Occupy movement. But it's the idea that the government encourages conspiracy theories by being vague and untruthful about even the most mundane shit.
Agreed.
Like the most, but I think that applies to this sort of stuff too. It becomes harder to sort out, like what's a crackpot conspiracy theory and what is verifiable fact, because you're not even allowed to ask questions about the topic.
That is true. I agree with that. You know, there's just we know there's powers to be. That's you know that's a solid fact. But we don't know the specifics because they don't want us to talk about.
And even when you do see some information on the specifics, you're like, well, is this legit? Because like, good luck verifying the sources.
It isn't worth putting your neck out there to even speak on.
Like how many VPNs do you got to put yourself behind before you can safely type that kind of shit into your search history?
You won't even get through one sentence. All of a sudden, bam, you got people on your door. Like, fuck.
Now you're just gonna your screen's just gonna go fucking white, and there's going to be a black hand on it, and then "we know" is written beneath it. It's like, I'm
getting the fuck out of it. Nah. Fuck that, yo, that'd be some crazy shit, bro. Oh, look, Rishi. Oh yeah, that's my second channel. If you guys want to subscribe to that, okay? Because once again, it's not as good as Steven Crowder, but we'll get there when we have to talk about some serious shit, okay? It's just be patient. Also, if you want to donate to your boy Sir Yeetus, link on top of the chat. Cash App / Sir Yeetus. Any donation is appreciated. Thank you, gentlemen. So, keeping that in mind with this current situation, what do you since the message overall is getting distorted as we speak, right, to the point where the philosophy will just be a whole different or just a shadow of its former self. Do you think it's best to distance away from that and just continue talking about, male issues? Like the label. I mean, like the
well, okay, no, because then they're just going to infiltrate the next thing. They're not going to be satisfied. They're just going to jump into whatever you make next.
Oh yeah, of course, but I'm just saying, like, moving on without a label, pretty much for the time being.
Okay, but without a label, no one's gonna fucking find you, or a label will be made for you.
Yeah, you're right. You are definitely correct on that one.
Like,
somebody's gonna make a label.
Like, you're essentially trying to win, like you're trying to win a war by ceding land to the enemy.
Well, okay. So pretty much this clash was inevitable.
Yes.
Why, thank you very much, Hermit. Then I guess we fight until the last few men. Then this will be our final stand.
No, that's the thing. You just fight. Like when you just catch them spouting bullshit, you call them out on your bullshit.
Oh
Like, like fucking, like Fresh and Fit. You roast the shit out of Fresh and Fit. You roast the fuck out of Tim Pool. You roast the fuck out of everyone who comes in with their goddamn bullshit. You roast Roma Army. You use the same fucking. This thing, you just call these people out, and you use the same weapons and information that that this was built with. I mean, like there's absolutely nothing stopping us from doing an episode based around dissecting an individual channel. Fuck, I did a Red Pill Cult meeting where people just sent in random videos. Like, someone sends me in one video on one female pickup artist, I can get well over an hour of content dissecting that shit sentence by fucking sentence.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how you fight back. You find these people spouting bullshit, and you call them out on their bullshit, and use that as an objective lesson to grow your own audience. If anything, we should be thankful that all these people are coming in and spouting bullshit, because it is unlimited content for us to milk.
Oh, of course, I definitely agree with that one. IY fan, he says the truth will eventually win. Win out. So as long as you persist, people might take a while, but we'll look for who is genuine, like you and Chronic. Yeah, you gotta think about if you want to be on the right side of history or not, because this will be historic. This will be a historic situation.
I don't care about being on the right side of history. I just know that objective reality is more useful than lies.
I know. I'm just saying, people in the future, generations from now, they'll say, "Hey, because I guarantee you, we will eventually be in the history books when it comes to the red pill philosophy."
I think it depends who writes them.
Well, especially the. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I know a lot of this content will be archived, at least.
It's really a question of, will it be in the history books, or are we going to be in someone's deep dive documentary on the dark web?
On the dark web.
That's the thing. Will our legacy be publicized, or will it be buried and scrounged by only the most dedicated of people?
It may or may not be publicized, because they already made a documentary back in 2017.
No, that's the thing. It entirely depends on who wins. That's the thing. The one who wins is going to get their shit put in the history books. The side that loses is going to get their shit relegated to the deepest, darkest corners of the internet.
But there's just no, gentlemen. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, because, well, like I said before, it only takes one woman with ill intent to destroy the entire cohesion of a male-dominated space. And now we have fucking countless of them right now. So, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to fight tooth and nail until, for some reason, I get canceled to oblivion. But just know that right now, you need to be wary about who you watch. Because are they really here for you, or are they here to cause some ruckus, or get some extra shillings?
I think that Goblin Slayer has a very good view of it. Because I'll use his talk on goblins. If there ever was a good goblin, they'd hide deep in their cave and never come out. If there are genuinely good women that want what's best for men, they are not on the internet. They are not making YouTube channels. They are with their husband and children maintaining a household. That is where the good women are. No woman who comes into a male space can be considered a good ally to men.
I completely agree, 1,000,000%. You know, I said it before earlier today. Women have countless outlets to speak on issues that they have, right? Why out of all spaces and outlets? Why just come to ours? That's pretty sus, gentlemen.
The only male space a woman should be is her husband's house.
Yep. Agents of Chaos. You know I love saying that phrase.
Yeah. Like, you want to fucking support, like, if you want to fucking support men in the public sphere, like, genuinely, you need to do it on the internet, do it in the female space and take all the fucking shit that's going to come your way. Fucking, like, be the fucking pro-male infiltrator in hardcore female spaces. Like,
right.
You want to do that? Stay the fuck out of the male spaces, go to the female spaces, and launch your crusade there.
That's what I've been saying this entire time. That's literally what I've been saying this entire time. Why not you go fucking lecture your own sisterhood about what the fuck they're doing? Why won't you guys get together as a sisterhood, you know, strong, independent women that don't need a man? If you're truly seeing that the system is fucked up for men, right? Because you're all about equality. Why not you go out there and rally in front of these courts and stuff and say, hey, make things equal, get rid of child support? Because you won't. That benefits you.
Yeah. Like, and that's the, and if you're like, well, I want something that benefits me, but I still want to support men, then don't go into a male space. Go to your local church, get a good husband, and serve him loyally for the rest of your life.
That's the best you can possibly do.
That is the best service that you can give to men, is being a loyal wife and mother.
I completely agree with that, honestly. Yeah. There's no other, besides going on a whole crusade on the very system that's destroying men, at least be a good wife to your husband.
Because here's the thing, I guarantee you that a woman that does that helps more men than any of the women in the manosphere.
Agreed. 1,000,000%. Because that will raise, how you say, a very good, strong family, and a very productive son or daughter that can contribute to the community, you know, because a good family, I'm gonna say it, a good nuclear family can translate out into society as a whole, or to your community.
It absolutely does. Like, one stable family. And here's the thing, even if it was just like all daughters, like say that all she popped out was daughters, she helped one man, her husband, and that's still more than any of these red pill women.
Goddamn right, is being some strong truths here, but yeah, I don't think the number is right. What do you mean only 12 million divorced? That's not right.
Yeah, no fucking way.
Yeah, can you look that up? Because I'm like,
I am looking it up right now. There's no way.
oh, I'm going to address this right quick. Gold Dalek, thank you for your donation. He says, tell Ghost the shroom wins. What do you mean? Are y'all still on that shroom stuff?
Might be there is a brief reference to that in the Elden Ring stream. Once I'm done trimming that down to a previously on segment, you might actually be able to catch some of it. But I was asked about the difference between mushrooms and skeletons, and I kind of gave deep lore.
And Gold Alex said the shroom wins. Okay, I see how it
Yeah.
is.
Okay,
It's all
so
good.
now here's the thing. Okay, so what was that number that was spouted off a couple minutes ago?
12 million.
12 million. Okay. Well, apparently there's nearly 2,400 divorces per day. 875,000 divorces per year. Meaning in 13 years, it passed, like 13 to 14 years, that's more than 12 million divorces right there.
Yeah, it can't be just 12 million because that means the divorce rate will be hella low. Like 90 something percent of people will be married right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like a number like that. Like that's the thing. I'd want a source because I can find a lot of stuff on the divorce rate.
Oh, you already know Google won't give you the exact number. Oh, they know what they're doing.
Like they're giving a lot of stuff like per annum, per thousand.
But
Okay, so let's see. So yeah, like they're giving stuff like per 1,000 people.
okay, so now they can't really give a estimate then. That's weird. A total estimate, I mean.
Yeah, now keep in mind, like there are divorced men who get remarried.
Yeah, that's true.
So like that's going to cut into the numbers a bit. It's not like like individual divorces versus men who have been divorced, and then it's like, well, how many divorced men are dead because of suicide? So there's that number too.
In my opinion, it has to be at least 50 million plus men divorced. In my opinion,
It's well,
at least at a given time.
okay. Well, let me just double check. So okay, population. So 331 million people in the United States. Half of that are women. So that's 165-ish million men.
We gotta find out how many of them are adults.
That's the thing. Like, let's assume, well, the majority of the population is going to be like the boomers. So I think that assuming 80% of them are adults. So let's see, 165, 1, 2, 3, 165 million. I'm going to say 80% of them are adults times 0.8. That's 132 million. So if we
That
were to
sounds
go
about right.
with, so basically if we cut out the millions, 12 divided by 132 for percentages, yeah, that would mean that 9% of men are divorced in America. Like 1 in 10.
I believe it. I definitely believe that.
That's the thing, but that's if 12 million is true.
Yeah, if the 12 million is true.
Like
Still,
1 in 10, like I think that what that would mean is scary, because then you have to be like, okay, well, what percentage of American men have been married? Because that's the thing, like, okay, because with 50% of marriages ending in divorce, and only 10% of men having been divorced, that would mean that only like 50% of marriages end in divorce, 10% are divorced. That would mean another 10% are not divorced, i.e. married and not split up yet, and that would leave 80% of the remaining adult male population as bachelors. I don't think that 80% of the male population in the U.S. is bachelors.
No. I'll say around 40. No, no, I think a bit more than that. I have to think about that. I have to write down the numbers for that one. But IY fan says some men get married 4 times. I agree.
Yeah, like that's gonna skew the numbers. But they give a lot of divorce rates.
Three of my friends got married recently too.
Okay, no, here's an idea. Okay, here's the thing. So, in 2021, 67.54 million men and 68.33 million women were married in the United States. So if there were 12, so basically, apparently 5 times, so if that 12 million is true, then 5 times as many marriages as there are divorced men in America in 1 year. 12 million seems incredibly low.
Yeah, you gotta go higher than that.
Okay, now here's the other thing. Apparently, a low rate of marriage is 44% of the population.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, so yeah, there's no way that it's 12 million.
So, when it comes to that situation, then I highly advise you, gentlemen, to not sign that marriage contract. But if you still want to do it, that's your risk. I can't stop you.
I mean, I highly advise people to not drink cyanide. Some people do it.
I agree. I agree. But at that point,
I highly advise people to not put gasoline in a plastic bag and then put their nose and mouth over and go. But some people do it.
He says the number of divorced women in the U.S. 16.73 million.
I will. I'll check it. That's the thing. I'm not getting a straight answer. I'm using the Brave search, but
they don't include any divorce that's within the first 3 years of marriage. Interesting.
yeah, Wikipedia statistics.
I never trust Wikipedia.
I need something that gives me numbers, okay?
Right. Lord Messiah Disciple, he says, I pity the fool that doesn't have the respect for Sir Yeetus to work out during the live stream. I agree. Remember, you got to at least bench 2 plates, 225 pounds. Okay? That should be your minimum.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to actually put a link or something in the chat or a web page. You can't just say Google it and find the number, because I'm searching it and I ain't finding the number.
Well, yeah, of course, skew the stats. Keep the stats down, yeah. But regardless, hey, you seen what happened to your family, you seen what happened to your friends when they went through divorce. Think long and hard before you try to shop at Jared's, try to get a fucking engagement ring.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of another metaphor, but it's think about all the people alive with HIV versus all the people who've never gotten HIV versus the number of people who have died from HIV. Like if you count the people who haven't died from HIV, then you're going to think that HIV is low relative to the population. Okay. But then you're like, well, let's look at all the dead people. It's like, oh wow, that's a lot. The thing, I'm willing to bet dollars of fucking donuts they aren't counting corpses as divorced.
Look at Bain said, bringing up the birth rate in any way in front of a feminist will trigger them. Well, of course. Of course. They're the ones that's eating their own clump of cells that's inside their wombs by the millions. Because it was inconvenient. A lot of them know what they're doing is wrong. That's why they get angry. Accountability? Oh no.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, the thing that I'm doing and promoting and spreading might actually be harmful and people might actually not like me for it. Oh no, I can't have that. I have to be the good guy. I always have to be the good guy. Otherwise, society will look down on me. And since I've cast aside literally everyone else in my life, if society thinks I'm a bad person, I'm finished.
Okay, everybody in the chat, put a 1 if from now on you actually want me to do segments. Because I did a segment a couple weeks ago. Do you actually want me to do segments for the live streams? Put a 1 in the chat. I don't mind talking to Gray and stuff the entire time, but do you guys want me to do like a monologue pretty much? Talk about something that's related to the topic pretty much. Yeah, I kind of figured as much.
Oh, actually, kind of funny. Goblin Guy XY. Like, I know he's joking in this, but yes, and Gray, why are you driving a wedge between men and women? Well, it's like, okay, but here's the thing. We're not driving a wedge. It's like we're looking at a bunch of people and we see that one of them's got a knife in their back and is bleeding out. And we're going, holy shit, that guy's got a knife in his back and is bleeding out. Somebody must have stabbed him. And then people are calling us bad names for it.
Yep.
As I was like, why are you stabbing that man? It's like, no, I didn't stab the dude. I'm just pointing out that he's got a knife in his back.
Wow, she's literally stabbing the dude.
Yeah.
Like, that type of, I wouldn't say is cognitive dissonance, but it's like their train of thought is all over the place when it comes to accountability. Like they're literally like, I'm not stabbing him. They look you dead in the eye while they're stabbing somebody. Like, you're doing it right now. What are you talking about? Stab, stab, stab.
You're gonna be like Miko Toga, stabbing with one hand, jerking off with the other.
Oh shit. Yeah. That's the big thing. I agree. Just a random guy. They're just pointing out the problem while most just ignore the culprit. Exactly, and that's what I see in majority of these PUAs and female content creators that try to be in our space. They love pointing out the problem, but they don't want you to see who's causing the problem. They don't want you to figure out any solutions. That's why they get mad at us talking about the real shit.
Like, they'll teach you first aid, but they won't teach you how to not get stabbed.
Bingo.
It'd be like, I go down this dark alley while flashing a shit ton of cash and loudly saying the N-word. And then a couple hours later, I'm beaten half to death. What do I need to do? Well, you need to learn to apply bandages and ice packs and painkillers. Oh! Okay, well, things don't hurt as much, and my injuries are callous, but I'm still broke and not feeling too good in the middle of an alleyway. What am I doing wrong? Well, you just need stronger painkillers. You don't think it's the flashing cash and loudly cussing out in a swear that's going to get me lynched? No. That's totally cool. Totally fine. You should keep doing that.
Oh, just like what Death Shark said, it's patriarchy's fault. And they love to blame the patriarchy. The patriarchy made me shoot him in the face. Like, what?
It's my deep-seated trauma against my father because he was too nice. That makes me hate all men, so I needed to stab him, but it's my father's fault. Because he treated my mom too nice and she left him and hooked up with Chad Rohn.
And you know what? I do gotta speak on this one as well, because I think this will be pretty hilarious. And before we do, because me and Gray, we're gonna go on a rant very soon. Last show of tonight. Go ahead and support your boy Sir Yeetus if you wanna. Link on top of the chat. Cash App / Sir Yeetus. Any donation is appreciated. Thank you everybody that donated so far. So, Grey Ghost, you watch It's Complicated, right? It's Complicated channel where he does the interviews.
Nope.
No? Okay, I'm gonna have to send you his channel. He pretty much is the one that goes around and asks pretty much red pill questions. Pretty much. Mainly the target is the females. So,
I might have seen clips of his stuff in a compilation or something. Like, I'm kind of familiar with the format, so.
Right, and he asked this one lady. He's like, okay, what rights that men have that women do not have right now in 2022? What by law is something that men can do that women can't do? And she said nothing. And then It's Complicated asked another question. He said, so what are feminists fighting for? And she was like, oh shit, good question. I'm like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, but literally feminists are fighting for nothing. Okay, besides using victimhood as a leverage.
Well, no. Well, that's the thing. They're not fighting for nothing. They're just not fighting for what they're saying they're fighting for.
Yeah, I said victimhood as a leverage.
Well, but that's the thing. That's not the end goal. That is the means to the end.
Well, so is the end goal superiority over men? I don't think they even have an end goal.
Well, the individual feminist does not, because they're just reacting on an emotional level. But the question is, why do they, what purpose does all of this serve? Because they're doing this because they're being told to do this. So what are the objectives of the people telling them to do this stuff? That's the real question.
What will you say is the answer? The best possible answer?
I'm going to be quoting Romanian TV for this, so credit to him. The abolition of gender itself.
Actually, good point. That's actually a great point. They're trying to get rid of the concept of gender, pretty much.
Yeah, they're trying to eliminate it, because here's the thing. Why are they encouraging men to dress like women and women to dress like men?
In order for them to me personally, to confuse them. Just be whoever you want to be, make sure, do whatever what makes you feel good, if you want to identify as a furry, do that, or That's
Okay,
it.
so it confuses it and throws it into a pot. Then the next thing, why do they encourage women to make themselves repulsive?
Depopulation.
Depopulation is a byproduct. I'm not entirely convinced that that is the objective.
Right.
Because because they still want men to get with and breed these hideous women.
So, okay, I see what you're saying.
Like,
You
that's
know,
the whole reason behind the. Like, here's the thing. There would not be this fat acceptance movement if they didn't want these men and women to be hooking up and having kids.
that's true. That's true. But standards are incredibly low in the Western world in the sense of they're able to be as lazy, as gluttonous as, you can just be fucking horrendous, and men should not have any type of standards. They should just accept her for who she is, type
But
situation.
but then you're also getting the push for marriage between anything. Two men, two women, like some theoretical neither. Like, again, if you as a man don't want to suck that feminine penis, then you are transphobic.
Yeah. That shit's ridiculous. I saw that. I saw that one video. I was like, "What the fuck?"
So that's the thing. It all circles around to the abolition of gender, because if men can wear dresses and they look fucking terrible when they do, and women can wear the ugliest fucking, like, it's the thing, like, a woman wearing man's clothes is not necessarily unattractive. The woman has to, like, a hot woman looks great in anything.
Agreed.
She can be wearing fucking oil slicked coveralls and still look hot. Like you name a fucking outfit, there is a photo or a drawn image somewhere of a hot woman wearing it. So they need to make the women themselves unappealing.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
went
you
in.
got, like, that's why you had that one woman who fucking transitioned, and then she's a 21-year-old biological female, should be the hottest ever, and she looks like a fucking balding 40-year-old manlet who works in IT.
So, would you say the end goal is to just have a pretty much
To
a confused?
eliminate gender, they want to make men more like women and women more like men, so that everybody is the same. And there
So,
is no men, there is no women. There are just people.
so pretty much they're confused, weak. Men cannot stand up for themselves and all the other shit. So they don't really have to worry too much about keeping their positions in power. And then they have a bunch of wage slaves. They just, you're gonna
Yeah.
work for me, and if you say anything
Yeah.
wrong, you know,
And
credit check,
then,
right?
but here's the, and by making the women as unattractive and repulsive as possible, like, it basically gets to the point where you fucking torpedo the male sex drive. Like, you annihilate it to the point where the man would just marry the woman just to maybe get kids, maybe get the approval of a female. But do you think he's gonna fucking fight and die for her to the same level as a man who is married to a genuinely hot, pleasant to be with woman?
No, hell to the fucking no.
So that's the thing. It's basically going to be a sexless gay marriage.
Yep.
And
That is
that's the objective for all marriage. It is two people codependently owned by the government, and they're both it. Neither is male nor female. And quite honestly, when you put them side by side, if the man didn't have a beard, you wouldn't be able to tell one from the other.
I agree for no reason. They're only drones. They only want people that will just work and die and procreate. That's it. That's it. Don't worry about having your own ideas. Don't worry about calling out or criticizing the people in power. You just work and just you're too scared to fend for yourself. Or it's going to be pretty intense if they do actually succeed.
But that's the thing. But they can't. Like, think because they are this is about as close as you get to trying to play God. They are trying to overwrite biological reality that comes after literally over 1 billion years of evolution to get to its current state. And they're trying to override that through societal pressure. It's not going to work. And even if they did succeed, the abominations that they created would not be able to support the society.
Agreed.
So, that's the thing. That's why the communists, they always fail in the end. They always fail because their dream can never be anything more than theory. You don't find a fucking communist that goes out and has to deal with the harshness of reality and works every day for an honest living. Communists are people who fucking sit at desks, posit fucking theories, and tell other people to do shit.
Yeah, they're fighting for a dystopia that can never be a reality. I agree.
They're fighting for what they imagine to be a utopia, but it's only ever fucking words on paper.
I agree. Just based on the concept of communism alone, it's impossible for it to even work.
Look at these fucking terminally online people. If you they're the way that they think other people operate is fucking terrifying. They see a plant cell. That scientific diagram of a plant cell that you probably saw in high school or middle school or something?
Yeah.
Well, someone took that and they redrew that with still all the scientifically accurate parts, but they made it look like an anime girl.
Weird.
That's the thing, okay, here's the thing. It's kind of it's cute. I'm pretty sure that if you searched up right now, plant cell girl, you'd probably see the image. And you'd agree it's cute, but it's also kind of scientific and fairly accurate.
What's the terrifying part?
The terrifying part is that there's a decent amount of people on Twitter who see that and think that it is sexual.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's the thing. That's these people. They think that as soon as you put a dress on something, you are sexualizing it.
Pretty much further prove your point.
That's the thing. They have, it has gotten to the point where female clothing is considered immoral. To the point where a skirt is considered sexual. If you are not some fucking pear-shaped, tiny tit, giant belly, body hair coming out the sides, permanently scowling, miserable piece of shit, then you are being objectified. And you are being sexualized. And you should not be allowed to be. You gotta have fucking no tits. They can't tell where your fucking stomach ends and your ass begins. And you're like an inverted hourglass. And if you don't look like that, then you are immoral. Then your appearance is immoral as a female.
So pretty much we're in the late stages of feminism. That's all. I believe we are in the late stages now.
Like we are in the fucking mask off communism stage.
Yeah, pretty much. They took off the mask at this point.
Like it's not even that they took it off. It's that like they've been fucking. It's like if someone was wearing one of those fucking medical masks for so long that it started to get covered with mold and decay, and they just didn't stop wearing it.
Undead Chronic says, Sir Eudes, you see Michael Malice wearing a small hat armband on Timcast IRL. Now imagine if I wore an armband on a YouTube stream. You will be yeeted into oblivion, Undead Chronic. It will not end well for you. It will not. It will not. This is why I believe the censorship on YouTube is bullshit. So I definitely agree with what you're saying, Chronic. I did. Is you wearing it right now? Hopefully you make a video on that too. But Gray, when it comes to what you're saying currently, I wonder, like, because all this is mainly happening because, you know, the backing of the government. So I truly believe that, you know, once things get crazy and the backing of the government is not viable anymore, all this crazy shit will start to disappear. And I really do feel bad for the people that fell for the nonsense, like that transitioned.
Like, honestly, I think that we'd see a lot of it disappear real fast. Like, the fall of the government would be one thing. But as to what you pointed out as social media being the major weapon, this is the true damage it does. More so than getting people to do stuff in a way equivalent to a weapon. This is really the damage. If you wanted to end this quickly, you cut the internet, you cut the television, you cut the radio. You cut all mass distribution of media.
Agreed. That's
because then what's the government going to do? At that point, the government has to use force to get people to do what they want, and people will push back against that. Like, there is a pretty big difference between 1,000 people on the internet telling you to suck the feminine penis, bigot, and a man with a gun telling you to suck the feminine penis, bigot. People will actually push back a little bit more, or at the very least they'll think more about doing it, when it's an individual committing violence against them.
Oh, I agree. I agree. This is going to be a insane situation. But I really had to talk about that certain topic because I'm like, you know what? That video that I saw, they're correct. Feminists are pretty much fighting for. They're not fighting for equality. Well, they're not really fighting for what they're talking about, like you said. No, they're fighting for something else without even realizing it. Like, I don't think they truly realizing what's actually going on.
Well, no, most of them are just useful idiots. They're only they're complying with it because everyone else they know is complying with it. Like they watch this, like they watch the same message on television, discuss that same message, and think that it must be group consensus because hey, someone else independently verified what I saw on television. Like, yeah, that's because you both watched the same fucking thing. That would be like me reading a fucking superhero comic, talking about what happened with it to someone else who read the same comic, and then us thinking that that comic must reflect reality because we both discussed the same event.
I completely agree. And once again, it's nothing new because the people that uses the communism ideology, right? What's their number one weapon? The media. Kim Jong-un, Joseph Stalin, Who's that one guy? The great. He's the
Mao?
one that. Huh?
Mao Zedong?
Yeah. Their biggest weapon was the media. So I definitely agree
Yeah.
when it comes to cutting everything off. When it comes
Yeah,
to
like, it is not a coincidence that communism surged when the radio was invented.
yeah, it's definitely yeah, it correlates very well. Now that I think, because the radio came out in the early 1900s, or it became popular in the early 1900s.
Yeah, but I believe it was far more prominent in World War II, which is where communism really pushed ahead more so than World War One. Because keep in mind, World War One, like they were still using telegraph lines and runner messengers. There was no radio communication on the front lines. At least not so much. It was more like it was still like landline Morse code shit. I don't think radio was very big then, but I know that there were radios in households by the time World War II kicked off.
When did Lenin get popular? In 1909, I think it was, or 1919, somewhere around there, where Lenin did the revolution.
I have to double check that.
But I know it was in the early 1900s where he took out the bourgeoisie.
Actually, let me double check something else there. So, yeah, he was in office 1923 to 1924.
Okay, and then
So,
Stalin took power after him. That
well, Alexei Rykov took it. Stalin. That's the thing. Stalin was World War. That's the. It took a while. Like, again, World War II was a couple decades after Lenin, so Stalin was in power like a few decades later.
I thought Stalin was in power long before that.
Let me double check. Yeah, Joseph Stalin. In office, 22 to 52. So yeah, he was in office the same time that Lenin was. He was actually in office before Lenin was in office.
Didn't they have like some type of trifecta, something like that?
Honestly, I don't know, and unless you want me reading Wikipedia articles for a while.
Well, I think Lenin, Stalin, and whoever that other guy is, I think like they were working together. Then when Lenin died, Stalin chased away the other dude and took power. It's been a while since I studied, Russian history. I know Rasputin was piping bitches down.
Yeah. I was wondering how much the printing press might have had an effect, but the printing press was popping stuff out even on the industrial scale, like as early as the 1840s. So,
I do
like, it
remember
wasn't
Stalin.
necessary, so I think that that's actually quite telling. Right there, it's that the newspaper wasn't as influential in distributing it to the masses.
I think Trotsky. I think that was the third person. That's the person that Stalin got rid of after Lenin died. I agree. And then Stalin had this huge industrial plan, and a lot of people got fucked over. With the famine and
Yeah, no, here's the thing. So, apparently the first radio news program was broadcast August 31st, 1920.
Okay, so it was literally in infancy. Like it was just around.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the radio was around somewhat prior to that, but keep in mind, like news radio broadcasts first exist 1920. Stalin takes power 1922.
Right.
I don't like that's where I would straight up put the radio as the first mass media messenger of communism.
I can definitely agree with that. I can agree with that. I know he.
And I think that the main reason for that. Do you know what people have to do with a newspaper that they don't have to do with a radio?
What was that again?
What do people have to do with a newspaper that they don't have to do with a radio?
Well, they have to read.
Bingo. They gotta read.
With the radio, you just have to walk by.
It's act. That's the, like with writing, you have to actually engage and bring it in. Like honestly, like this is the thing. The fucking boomers were talking all about how I don't even know if it was necessarily the boomers. I think it was the boomers. But like they were all about how fucking television is rotting the kids' minds. It's just passive, mind-numbing tripe. You're not engaged in it. Read a book. Well, those are the motherfuckers that were listening to the radio and just passively absorbed everything off of that as though it was the truth.
Agreed. So, what's pretty much what's happening right now? It's the same thing, but on fucking like light speed.
Well, that's like first you had the radio, then you had television, and what happened about the same time that television got mass distribution? The Cold War.
Right.
Now you have the internet.
And then eventually, social media. And then,
Yep. That's the thing. Like, I say, I'd actually point that would probably be the point right there, really. The internet being invented was one thing, but that's the same as radio being invented. But I'd probably say that so far as advancements to communism are concerned, social media is the equivalent of a radio news broadcast program. Like it was like social media was the turning point in the distribution of communism.
yeah, it's pretty much have a gigantic radio that majority of people around the world can hear at once. You know, not just here or there. No, we got a gigantic microphone now.
Well, and you had the illusion of group consensus too. Like that's why there's so much pushback to Musk having Twitter right now, because above all else, he eliminated the pretend group consensus that Twitter was pushing for certain ideas.
Oh yeah, Elon Musk is going to war right now. It's going to get nasty because they're definitely trying to shut him down. You heard about the Apple situation, right?
Oh yeah, but personally, I've never been more interested in getting a Twitter account than I am right now. But I just don't have the fucking time. I can barely maintain my goddamn YouTube channel, let alone trying to maintain a Twitter account.
Agreed. Like multiple platforms, it does get annoying after a while. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's just focusing on one would be good enough for me if Susan didn't fucking hate me. But at this moment, this is going to be pivotal. I don't think Elon is going to win this war, but he's definitely putting this situation on the forefront of freedom of speech.
Well, no, here's the thing. I think that no matter what happens, we win. Because I don't think that Elon is going to hand Twitter back to the people who he bought it from. I think that he'll either change it into something completely different using the infrastructure, or it'll just die. And he'll cut his losses with it. and the death of Twitter would be a wonderful thing.
Well, there were talks of him collaborating with various people to compete with major platforms such as YouTube and stuff. So I am curious about.
There's talks of him integrating it with his own payment processor. Like, he's not just going to compete with platforms. He's going to compete with fucking PayPal.
Oh yeah, it's okay. Yeah, he's not fucking around then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, they want to yeet Elon Musk right now because, well, once again, he's the danger to the narrative at the moment.
Well, at the same time, he's also the one that they don't outright control. Again, it's like they have all these platforms that fucking cater and cuck and say yes, but the one platform that says no to them, it must be dealt with, and it is their primary attention.
Agreed, and he is. I'm pretty sure he still is the richest man in the world as well, alone. So he will be a lot more difficult to influence.
He's definitely the richest African.
He is. Technically. But it's gonna. How do I say? He already aired out most of the dirty laundry that we know of. I don't know how much dirty laundry he has when it comes to Twitter, but I do believe he will be doing good things. But at the same time, let's say if Apple do decide to take Twitter off of the App Store, oh, it's gonna get nasty.
But no, here's the thing. If it takes it off the App Store, then we might just get a Elon Musk brand operating system phone. Because that's the only thing that Apple actually has proprietary stuff over.
Either that or a lot of people going to switch to Android.
I think a lot of people might switch to Android, but I genuinely think Elon Musk might use the opportunity to create a competitor. And here's the other thing. You don't have, like, the iPhone. Apple is not, like, Apple, yes, they have the iPhone, but all Elon Musk has to do is go to Samsung or whatever and cut a deal with them, and Twitter can just be hard lock installed on the phone. I believe Facebook does the same sort of stuff, and I think Google Plus as well. Like, on certain phones, there's social media apps built into the operating system from the start. He can just go around Apple if Apple's like, well, we're not going to have you on the App Store. And he'll be like, okay, then I'll just have it built into the phones by default by cutting a deal with the people who make your phones.
That's actually a genius idea. I really hope he does that. That'll be a big fuck you.
Like, that's the thing. He's got fuck you money. Like, they can't bully him the same way that they bully a plebeian, because literally all you need to do is give him a viable business idea and he has the capital to piss away at it.
The Mad Marylander says the internet is less restrictive on information. For now.
Like, less restrictive on information? Well, relative to some stuff you can find, but here's the thing. That's because it has the quantity of information. I mean, if you go into a bookstore, they might technically have a wide variety of books, but what are people more likely to see and purchase? The stuff that is put front and center in the display windows? Or the stuff that's buried in a box in the back corner and you need to ask at the counter to see if they even have it?
I'm going to have to address this right quick. For no reason, he says Elon Musk is completely controlled. No one is allowed to get that rich who is not prepared,
who's not controlled.
Yeah. And he plays it well. I'm going to have to agree and disagree, because that's the benefit of capitalism. Anybody can get rich. If there's no type of sabotage, anybody can get rich. Anybody. Right place, right time. and hard work. So,
Well, and the
he
thing is with like
what's up?
I guess he's made very interesting moves, but I'm not going to be like, oh, he's the fucking savior who's going to do everything. He's like, no, he's doing interesting shit, and the people that I hate him.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's definitely rubbing elbows with the powers to be. Yeah, like I'm not going to deny that, but at the same time, anybody can get rich. Anybody can become a multi-billionaire or millionaire. Right place, right time, hard work, or just luck. So
Yeah, Elon Musk probably cut a shit ton of deals, but at the same time, like that's the thing. It's all political games at the top. Just because you've cut deals, and yeah, you're prepared for the role, like eventually you can start doing shit independently on your own. And there's certain levels where you cannot be touched in the same ways. Like if we were to look at it from a military perspective, like old school military, if you had a general that was like prepared and groomed for his role and swore loyalty to the emperor, yada yada yada, he can still take his fucking army and turn on the emperor.
definitely agree.
Like, this is the thing with the powers that be. I think that it is very foolish to assume that everybody at the top is marching in unified lockstep. You're telling me that the richest, most powerful, most cutthroat people on the planet who have stepped over God knows how many ruined lives and maybe even outright corpses to get to where they are going to march in unified lockstep and not fight for their own individual power? I cannot sincerely believe that the people at the top are all unified in singular purpose.
Oh, hell no. Oh, well, of course, I'm sure the rich will put favors here and there to me because I know the rich helps the rich, but at the same time, all of them definitely have their own agendas.
Yeah, they help each other, but it's very mafia.
Yeah, very
Like
mafia.
because here's the thing. Remember, before the U.S. started sending obscene amounts of money to Ukraine, Joe Biden's son was employed in Ukraine as a consultant and receiving a shit ton of money for essentially laying around all day, smoking crack, and doing underage prostitutes.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of corruption, a lot of fucked up things because the rich people can get away with anything. The rules don't apply to them. I agree.
Well, I think the rules that they give to everyone else don't apply to them. But they are busy making rules for each other and they're all trying to hang each other as best they can while appearing like they're all friends. It is cutthroat politics at the top.
Yeah,
make no mistake.
Dog world. I agree with that. But not, he says, the point is people really rich are not celebrities. Not once we've said that Elon Musk is a celebrity.
Yeah, no, I think, but that's the thing. Like, no, like Elon Musk is not fucking top of the top of the top. He's very much a public people. Like, yes, the people who are truly, truly in power, I'd be shocked if we actually know their names.
The closest we got is their families, but that's it.
That's the thing. I would like, you would not, I would not be surprised to find out that those families are not at the top, but they're just the face for the actual people at the top.
Well, I know the the Rothschild and the Rockefeller family, they still got big influence up there on the tippity top.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, would it really, truly, honestly surprise you to find out that there is someone more powerful than them who owns them?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's the thing. And someone with that much power, they have every reason to be invisible, because then, like, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Schwabs, like, all that shit can fall and the true power remains untouched.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm gonna address this right quick. He says we don't actually have a free market of capitalism anymore. The government picks the winners. He got a bunch of
Subsidiaries.
subsidiaries for Tesla. He then used most of that to gain the stock market. See, here's the thing, and I do agree with the IY fan. They don't mind if one or two people win. They don't want everybody to win. And I know the main culprit or the main situation that backs up your claim, IY fan, is the GameStop scandal, right? Where everybody, or not everybody, a good amount of people figured out that, oh shit, we put money in this, and we all can make money. Yeah, let's do it. And then apps such as like Robinhood or other stock apps, just the stocks in general, said, no, you can't put money in it anymore. And that pretty much proves your point. They don't want everybody to win, because what's the point? If everybody won, then what's the point of being rich if everybody else is becoming rich, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the very thing with Twitter. Like, now that the plebeians can get blue check marks for $8 a month, whereas you instead had backroom deals for tens of thousands of dollars if you wanted the blue check mark before. That's the thing. You either had to bribe your way to a blue check mark, or you had to be a specific insider shill.
Agreed. Unless you're some A-list celebrity, like, you will automatically bring business into Twitter. You had to pay some big bucks to even get a blue check mark. Yeah. So
nowadays you drop $8. Nowadays, $8. $8, you're verified, you're approved.
Yeah, they're very pissed off about that.
Oh, they are fucking horridly pissed off like that.
IY fan, he says power likes to hide and not be seen. They know that they have the power. Of course, the more power you have, the bigger target you have on your back. You have to move in silence.
That's the thing. It's the sword of Damocles. Like, if you are at the top, you really don't get to enjoy it, because you are constantly worried about everyone trying to take it away from you.
Yes. Like, literally, the person that proclaims to be your ride or die is possibly plotting to take you out. As a top guy.
Oh, no. Not possibly, definitely.
Well, definitely. But I'm just saying, like, as a top guy, there's a saying, it's lonely at the top. And that's a saying for a reason. You have to watch your back at that point. Like, you have no choice. And once again, it will bring up paranoia. Like, you cannot trust even your own children. You can't trust.
Oh, you absolutely can't trust your own children. In fact, I remember there was one king who, like, first off, in order to deal with the succession crisis, he had all but his eldest son killed, so that they wouldn't fight over the territory when he died. And then he got paranoid that his eldest son was trying to take the throne from him. So he invited his son to his tent and had him killed too. So then he had no children to pass on his legacy to.
Which is pretty stupid, but understandable on why he did it.
Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the delusions and paranoia of being at the top.
Like, you might have your moment here and there, right? Your few seconds of relaxation. But that's all you get. As soon as you hear somebody come into the room, or somebody's like you hear somebody approaching you from behind, you know, you can hear the footsteps and all that, you will be paranoid. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not fun, you know. I don't know that feeling personally, but it's not fun being at the top. I guarantee you. Like, I'm sure you've seen it in movies and you read it in stories. Being the king, it's hard work. So imagine the guy right now, or the group of people, right? Because who knows? Who knows if it's one person or a group of people that is running this entire globalization show, right? Worldwide. Imagine how paranoid they are right now. Because I'm telling you, it usually never ends. The trifecta, or the partnership. There's only room. How you say it? There's not enough. How do I can't even think about it right now. Give me a second. Oh, this town ain't big enough for the two of us.
Yeah.
That's literally how it ends every time.
Like, they're going to continue fighting amongst each other and vying for power. I'm just incredibly doubtful, simply because of how human nature is, to believe that the powers that be have any sort of standardized, unified, long-term plan that they are working towards with a common sense of purpose. I cannot sincerely believe that. There has to be politicking, squabbling, and infighting between the lot of them. Maybe it's fucking covert, maybe it's fucking hidden. Maybe it looks like they're all unifying, but just like a government that says to all, like, I don't know if anyone here watches China Uncensored at all, but if you look into all the politicking and backstabbing and subtle warfare going on between Chinese leadership, like, that's what I'm talking about, but on the global scale. They look unified. They say they're unified. They'll fucking shake hands and smile and spout out the same goals. But they absolutely don't want to be number two.
They will only unify against the common folk. That's the only time they'll unify, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, if you can even call it unifying against the common folk, like, that's like saying that, like, you and someone else are playing chess and you're unified against your chess pieces. Like, you don't regard them as someone that you can be on the same side of. They are just your fucking tools to use as you please. There is no sense of unity or brotherhood or betrayal.
Well, let's just say the enemy of your enemy is your friend. So when it comes to that particular situation, they'll cooperate with each other. If the common folk is being rowdy.
What's the thing? If their shared power is threatened, oh yeah. Yeah, then they'll unify. But that's because if one loses, then they both lose. But if the common people get rallied up against only one of them, oh, they're not fucking unified at all. In fact, they might even be the instigator.
That's what happened with Gaddafi. So his downfall. He was the dictator of Libya, if you guys didn't know. Nobody came in to save him. He was on his own. Taken out by his own people.
Yeah, don't.
You say human nature is a weird beast? It is. It is definitely we're complicated creatures, but at the same time we're simple. We're very complex.
We're complex in our execution, but our motivations are pretty simple to understand. You just have to break them down to their core. Like, we want power. Like, human beings want power and we want security. And unfortunately, the more power you have, ironically, the less secure you are.
Agreed. Unless you literally just conceal yourself away to where only a select few can find or can contact you, you're in danger. You're in danger. So it is what it is. Like we're
Like,
similar. What's up?
it's a spectrum of power, really. Like, power versus security. Because if you have too much power, then the more power you get, the less secure you are. But of course, if you have no power, if you're broke and homeless, then you're also very unsecure as well.
Agreed. You're right. Where is it right here? Yeah, the Democrats and the Republicans. So we need to accept that they're two sides of the same coin. Okay, they're not. You guys need to, wake up to the situation. You gotta smell the roses.
Yeah, like they're still struggling for their own individual growth, but neither the Democrats or the Republicans want the government to be weakened.
Agreed. Because then they both lose. See, we can definitely continue with this, but we're going to end it here because there's a few things that I have to do tonight that needs to get done.
Yeah, we've been at this for about 2.5 hours almost. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I could definitely went a couple more hours, but if you guys want us to continue talking about this, I can definitely do it on the second channel this weekend. I would not mind at all. So, but are you good, Grey Ghost? You good with the and like any final thoughts?
I guess I'll just kind of go back to the main topic and reiterate. People infiltrating and attempting to distort the message, this is just a sign of success that it is working, and they are changing up the tactics from trying to shove us underground to trying to corrupt us. And they're not going to stop until they have seized full control. So if we want to achieve our objectives, then we have to push harder, and we have to call these people out on their bullshit. Otherwise, it's going to be driven underground again, and it's going to have to be rebuilt from scratch again. And then what happens when it gets to the level of success where they start infiltrating again? At the very least, we may as well fight here, and even if we lose, at the very least, we'll have some combat experience for next time.
Completely agree with that, man. At first I was like, we might as well distance away from the philosophy, but I'm like, you know what? Like what you said before, they would just do it again. So might as well 10 toes down, put your feet in the sand, draw the line. And we're gonna keep dragging out this information war because that's pretty much what it is right now. It's pretty much
one day at a time, one video at a time, one message at a time. We just keep pushing, and we know that that's the thing, like, they might have more financial backing, but what they lack is creativity and adaptability. They are forced to respond to what we do.
Pretty much. I agree. But I don't really have any final thoughts on this. We pretty much wrapped this up pretty good. I went a lot longer than I thought, but that's a good thing. That means
It usually does.
Yeah, it usually does. Yeah. That's all me. It was a good stream though. I enjoyed it. But it is your boy Sirius and the Great Ghost. Thank you, everybody that decided to donate. I appreciate every single one of you guys for doing that. Also, I hope that you enjoy the gems that me and Gray dropped on you tonight. We will see you sometime tomorrow, possibly on this and the second channel. Expect a short video on the second channel tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
Well, what you say, Gray?
Tomorrow would be late. Yes, I got cards for most of the evening.
Well, we'll do it the day after then. I wouldn't mind. It's all good. The stream is a lot better when I'm talking to somebody. So if I get a guest tomorrow, it's all good. But if not, I'll just focus on the second channel.
Yeah, we'll work it out. I'll send you my schedule in Discord.
All right, too easy. And we are out. Peace.
Peace out, everyone.